Hi, Dr. Shah. After going through your lectures, I really did learn a lot about death. I really like that you put in there that there is a such thing as a good death. Even though no death is good, there are some that people can deal with easier, such as if a grandparent is getting old and they're suffering and you think it's their time to go to heaven, that would be considered a good death. You talked about a good death is you are aware that you are dying and hospice comes in and you know that it's your time and you're able to make your farewells to your loved ones and kind of accept the fact that you're going to heaven. So I'm going to talk about a recent death that happened. My boyfriend's grandma passed away last month, so pretty recent, and it was really hard for all of us. I've been dating him for 7 years, so she's like my own grandma. And we call her Bubby because she's a Jewish grandma, and she was amazing. This woman was awesome. She would have her martinis, her green apple martinis. She would crack jokes, all these funny jokes, sometimes dirty ones, but sometimes we had to tell her, oh, don't say that one, Bubby. But she was an amazing lady, and she was literally like my other grandma, and I'm going to miss her a lot. And about a month ago, she was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. And I remember my boyfriend texting me, Bubby's not doing well. And I was like, I'm sure she'll be fine. She looked really great for her age. I thought she was only like 65, and apparently she was like 82. But she looked great, always had her makeup done, always went out with her friends, just always looking great and feeling great. Or so I thought. But she was a smoker when she was younger. So this could have caused her lung cancer, but she never wanted to go to the doctor because she just never wanted to face the fear that she could be dying, because a lot of us are afraid of death. I know I'm afraid of death. I have anxiety when driving because I've had multiple family members that have died in a car accident, so I'm afraid to drive and try to only do it when I really need to do it. But death is a very scary thing, but we all have to go through it, unfortunately, some earlier than others. So with his grandma, about a month ago, she was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer, and she just deteriorated quickly. About maybe 2 weeks in, hospice came in, and then we knew that it was real. And it was really hard because I could see my boyfriend, how he just was so upset, but he doesn't really like to show his emotions, so he wasn't crying. He was just kind of like holding in and staying strong for his family, even though I knew that he was upset. But I actually am more of an emotional person, so I was crying a lot about it. So I ended up going to her service, which is a beautiful service. My boyfriend's dad and mom spoke at the service and talked about how great of a lady she was, and they pretty much celebrated her life versus talking about, she's not going to be here. She's not going to be here for Hanukkah anymore. She's not going to be here for all of these different holidays. They talked about, how funny she was, how great of a mom she was, how her grandsons looked up to her, which was great. Even though it was a sad service, it really was a beautiful one. And I'm going to miss her a lot. She was like my own grandma, so I hope you're looking up for me. And I want to talk about two things that I found online. From the Mayo Clinic, it talked about feelings of grief may return years later, such as on an anniversary, or her birthday, or when they're celebrating Hanukkah together, or anything that will make them think of their grandma. I know I will think of her when I go over to his house, and she used to be there every Saturday that Kyle and I were home, and it's just going to be different walking in the room and not seeing her bubbly personality, and it really is going to be very sad. But we've been trying to cope with it by thinking of all the great things in life that she brought and how great of a grandma she was, and try to think of all her funny jokes and relive them and everything. But those triggers, they're going to come back every time I go to his house, and it's going to be really sad. But thank you for listening.